So hello guys, and welcome back. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be, wherever you're watching this. Well, have a good day there guys, but it's another SCPH replay coming your way, and this time, it's gonna be a ZVZ on Everdream LE. Everdream, always a lovely map to see no matter what. Gotta say, one of my favorites in the ladder. And introducing first, here on the top right of Everdream, we got a man with Tong in his name. He's gonna bet on it, and he's gonna be looking to play that pool first. It is our Red Zerg, beTONG. And his opponents, here on the bottom left of Everdream, playing that mech style instead on the Zerg. If only there was a build that was a mech on the Zerg in the first place. Looking pretty shiny there. The all-seeing eye himself. It is one of our favorite content creators in the community. It is Nostrebor. So this is actually a second Nostrebor game that we were able to get. We were able to do one of the Nostrebor games a long while back. But here and now, finally, we're going to be getting into our second one. It seems like Nostrebor going to go for that hatchery first, looking to play that macro instead. In the meantime, though, the pool going to be going online as well. And the question is, what is beTONG gonna do with this earlier pool? It's gonna be, of course, metabolic boost a little early on to this horizon. Still having that one gas with that one drone. So at the very least, he's getting a good intake. So he can go for some earlier roaches if need be. Maybe bailing this if he's gonna keep up this economy. But as I say that, never mind. He says, okay, that's enough gas. He's gonna go for the hatchery instead. So he does go for the quicker metabolic boost. And a ZVZ matchup though, if Nostrebor is unable to answer back with that speed boost, then that he will be actually getting caught out into the winds. It really feels like when those Zerglings run on into your supply lines, it just hurts you so much, especially since the creep is there to make them even quicker. For now, Queen's currently instrumental here for Nostrebor, even though he doesn't know it as of yet, I believe. Yeah, he doesn't have a scouting information. Onto the pool first. I believe as soon as he sees his hatchery coming very late, he will be looking to build up his defenses. Can go for a safety spine crawler if need be, but Queen should be enough to hold the line. And a few Zerglings there as well. Make sure at the very least he can have something. And here we go already with beTONG going on to the outskirts. Question is though, how's Nostrebor gonna defend this? He sees the hatchery going in very late compared to the standard. So it does go for the immediate double evo chamber to try and build up a wall. Queen also hampering that Overlord. Looking to make sure that there's not much vision. And Nostrebor, question is, how much of the blockade can he actually overcome? Because here we go right now with beTONG looking to push on in. He wants to go for the main base, but there we go with the Zerglings waiting on for the attack. And Nostrebor gonna get caught out here. beTONG looking for all the damage that he can do and more. So there we go with the workers getting the pokes on. But the drones deciding to fight back. And here we go with the brawl already. Zergling's gonna be looking to add the DPS. But this is hurting Nostrebor when it counts. 11 workers left compared to the 15 that beTONG has. And even though we saw Nostrebor go for the macro focus economy, beTONG now able to take that lead. Question is though, will he keep it up and go for the attack? Or will he go for a drone cycle instead? Seems like it's going to be a little bit of a half and half. He got some drones. He's going to go for 10 lings right now. At the very least, he wants to make sure his first base is saturated. So he has a good number of Zerglings to keep on with the pressure. Nesensong, beTONG. He'll be sending those links out even more. It's a flood of links out coming his way. And oh my god, Nostrebor, you are in a spot of trouble here. Natural base right now getting hampered as well. This is hatchery potentially going down. And probably for Nostrebor is he didn't really wall up per se. He decides to make a funnel, but it doesn't really do anything. And these Zerglings are able to just run on in so very easily. At the very least, though, it protects the Queens. But as I say that, there we go with the Queen already getting surrounded. Nostrebor, can he actually keep that one alive? He goes for the spawn larva, but there we got a Baneling to save the day. And one Baneling was absolutely huge there from Nostrebor. That's all he needed. That's all he needed to win this fight. And it really goes to show, in a Ling battle, when you have those Banes, it can be such a big difference maker. Seems like, though, poor beTONG wasn't able to see that on the high ground. And that was just a big bulk of Lings going on down there. Way too potent in that matchup. So, kudos there to Nostrebor. He will be able to hold. beTONG, though, does not want to give up, and he's going to be keeping at it. But he has seen what's happened. He saw those Banelings, and he's gonna go for third hatch instead. I like this from beTONG. He's not gonna commit onto something that is very risky for him. He's unable to micro it up. Might as well go for the macro instead. And here we go again. Nostrebor right now looking to hold the line. Baneling getting his splash down again. And overall, This should be a hold here for a blue Zerg, but the problem for Nostrebor right now, he went for the earlier Baneling Nest. He is down on the worker count. He will be taking this sweet time to... And also, oh my god! These Banelings on the ramp! Just waiting for these Lings to run on in just to die. Highly unfortunate to see, and it really feels like for Nostrebor, he's just able to stay ahead of the curve there with that Baneling bus. But for now, speaking of head, we got beTONG there with 35 workers and counting. This guy is getting a better macro on only if these drones decide to move. Hey guys, you're not paid to stay by the hatchery. You're not paid to do anything, but come on. The economy here for beTONG can be a little better if these guys are just not idle. So you should be taking attention. Roach Warren though into play. Flare Tech gonna be online as well for both sides soon. Nostrebor is gonna be the one who comes out first with that. Nostrebor also going onto the outskirts right now, deciding, hey, this is my time to attack. Go for that third base. Go for the harassment onto this hatchery. And speaking of the harassment, goodbye to drones here onto the third. Question is though, what are these eggs gonna turn into? More drones, and that is just gonna be a very, very bad look for beTONG. Nostrebor is all over the place, and he is just chomping onto this third base. There we go with the drone getting surrounded. Here we go again with the hatchery getting hampered. In all honesty, while 20 Lings are coming here for beTONG, this third base should be going on down very, very soon. Wouldn't be surprised to see Nostrebor keep at it. There we go again, and it's time to run on away. Speed boost versus speed boost means that they are just all running at the same speed, and that is just that. Nostrebor able to come out ahead in that one. Very, very effectively done by our blue Zerg. In any case, though, still seems like it's going to be a little bit of a break here for both sides. As I say that, never mind. beTONG wanting to answer back. And here we go again with the front of Lings. This guy is just betting on his hedges and betting on these small critters to actually do everything he can. And more hatchery though will go up. Confidence here from Nostrebor that he can defend this. And there we go again with the Banelings coming on through. This just forces beTONG to run on away. He's very scared of what can happen. And at the very least, this time, we have beTONG answering back. But he goes for the Serpentine move. He circumnavigates everything. Goes over to the Natural instead. Goes for the Brawl at the same time. And while the Baneling only hits one Zergling there, at the very least, we have Nostrebor set up with his defenses. And he should be good to go for the long haul. So far, so good though for both sides. We got beTONG still keeping up the macro lead with those roaches. But at the same time, Nostrebor will at least keep at it on the defense. Keep at it with some harassment. Those Banelings clearly keeping him in this game. So basically, a comeback waiting to happen here from Nostrebor. Meantime, though, it's still beTONG trying to get his third base up and running. And if Nostrebor can harass this again and take this down, then he will be able to take a good economical lead. But Nostrebor right now on the east side, the Queen's even hampering those Overlords. And looking at what's happening here, Hydralisk then here for Nostrebor. Very interesting pick. Might be going for the Lurkers very soon. He's also going for that speed. He's expecting Mutas. But when he sees the Roaches, he might want to change his whole tune and go for the Roach Warren as well. Because this is just beTONG keeping at it with bulkier units. These Lurkers are going down for free. And beTONG able to hold the line, able to survive. And what is the plan right now for Nostrebor? In terms of tech, I'm very worried for him. He's going for the twin upgrades, expecting some flyers. But he might be meeting some roaches on the ground instead. beTONG right now should have the advantage on this attack and might be able to even shut down that third base very, very soon. Overall, though, interesting dynamic. Usually in a ZVZ, you see these people murder, but we saw Nostrebor go for the Baneling Nest, and beTONG answers back with the Roach Warren instead. Now Nostrebor going for the Hydra then, and you can see that it's a struggle here for Nostrebor, and he will lose that third base yet again. Seems like, though, for both sides, it's all about looking for answers. There we go, though, with the Link start to fight on back again, and the Banelings right now going for the bus, and it does get a good hurt onto a few roaches, but still not enough. It's not as potent as you would like, and that is that. Nostrebor able to defend for the time being, sure, but beTONG still keeping it up. He's doubled arm count right now. He has a 10 worker lead, and he has that third hatchery up and running. So I'd love to see beTONG bring in more of these roaches, bring in all the pain that he can bring in more, because if he just keeps up this pressure, this should be game 7 match here against Nostrebor. Nostrebor still keeping up with the Hydras instead. Kind of old school play. Ooh, is that a macro hatch here onto the primary base? Interesting enough. And it really feels like it's a bit of a worry here for Nostrebor right now. In terms of matchup, he's going to be struggling heavily. You can feel that pressure, in all honesty. You can feel that there might be a few issues here for Nostrebor. But, as I say that, he at the very least is going for those upgrades. +1 onto range, +2 on melee. It's all about damage right now. In the meantime, for beTONG though, he's neither getting those Evo Chamber upgrades. He's just gonna go for Constitution as well as Metabolic Boost to get these things even quicker. But here we go again. beTONG going in Zap. Ravager gonna be in behind. Banelings are there as well. And this is a big bulk Phoenix that beTONG can just bring to the table. That is gonna be a Baneling smashing into the Extractor. And here we go with the Lynx, right? Looking to go for the fight. Hydras though, in the meantime, lining up by the middle line. And apparently it's enough damage there. beTONG has to back on out. More and more of the Hydras come. With the range advantage, they are just able to get some free DPS on. And beTONG losing out on those roaches eventually. Seems like though, I'm either underestimating these Hydras or Nostrebor just having a good number there. 11 of those Hydras into play. And he used his buildings, he used his links to stay in front to get some good DPS on. And it feels like for beTONG, even though he has that lead, it's not as big as an army as you would expect, right? It feels that it could be bigger with that 59 army count, but hey, it is what it is. And Nostrebor going over for that third base yet again, looking to go for the pokes against the Queens. Engagement though in order between the links, and here go with the natural base right now. Gonna be the next target on the list. Queen onto the main base, gonna get hampered there. Here go the links again, flooding each other. It really feels like it's a tidal wave waiting to happen. It's still slow. Nostrebor hunting for these queens, not really getting much done. There we go though with the surround. And eventually that is that. But beTONG has lost out on the worker count a little bit. And it really feels like for Nostrebor, he's staying alive in so many ways. He's keeping it up with the tech. He's keeping it up with some play. And in the end, these Hydras are really saving the day for him. Lair, still in order though. He also has that Lurker Den right now. He'll be even more effective on the defense. He'll be so effective against those roaches because they're gonna struggle to find them. And beTONG though, adding up the Banelings, but with the Lurker coming, this isn't looking too dicey here for beTONG. He'll find out though. I like the debate here. Hydra versus Roach. Feels like it should be a question that should be answered very, very soon. But beTONG now, with so many of these Banelings out in front, and they do get the hooks in time to roll on in. Here we go again though, with the push onto the third base, and this might be Nostrebor getting caught out. These Banelings though smashing into the Lurker, and there's the Hydras also going down. It seems like corpses are flying, but it's not as effective as you would like, and Nostrebor deciding to go for the Banelings onto the egg instead. And this is an opportunity for Nostrebor to actually go for it. beTONG in the meantime gonna be trying to stay alive, but these are the roaches going on down, and just not good usage there of those Banes. Even though we saw so many Hydras fall, Nostrebor still going around in circles. And for some reason, smashing into the Baneling nest is not the way to go there, beTONG. And that is that for that attack. Highly, highly unfortunate. In all honesty. It really feels like that it could have been better there for beTONG. And it could have been a killing blow, but as I say that, here we go again with the Zerglings looking to run on around. They're trying to find a base or two to use, and trying to find a base or two to hamper. And they see a very scary sight. More and more of these Banelings right now. And I like how beTONG has decided, okay, you survive because of Baneling Nest. I'm going to try to kill you with it. But it hasn't been working out for our Red Zerg so far. Nostrebor answering back in so many ways, making sure that he is always in a good spot. And actually there, Nostrebor could have died immediately. If only beTONG used those Banelings a lot better. That could have been it. That could have been the game. But no, Nostrebor is a little bit of luck, a little bit of skill, able to survive. And now he's putting these Lurkers as turrets for some reason. And I love it in a way. It feels like it's tower of defense waiting to happen. And these Lurkers in position, getting the spines on. That is just gonna be some good AoE damage. Good bites, a good number of links there. And Banelings right now trying to roll on in. But you can see that the Lurker's already poking and popping. Goodbye. So a good burst there. So difficult to actually move on through. And now Nostrebor taking that lead with the Hydras into play. So what happened to beTONG though? I really feel like if he just kept on with the roaches, it could have been a lot better for him. As soon as he sees those Lurkers, have some Ravagers online, go for the Bile, have an Overseer as well. And it just is all about decision making, right? It feels like the decisions right now are a lot more narrow for both sides in a way. Nostrebor could have got caught out there with the Hydra army in the third base. But luckily wasn't. But those Banelings can't pack a punch, especially against these units. So I'd love to see, though. It really goes to show why a ZVZ turns into a mirror matchup more often than not. It's all about having the same unit because you want to have a similar matchup to begin with. Roaches Ravagers versus Roaches Ravagers is a standard thing. when you get Hydras into the mix. It's more of a mix rather than a unit in itself. So it's really interesting skip here for Nostrebor, and he went straight to the Lurkers to try and defend. So it seems like it's all about different answers for different times here for both sides. But do I agree with that in the philosophy of ZVZ? Not really. But it's still Nostrebor surviving. With the Baneling Nest a while ago, with the Hydra Den, with the Lurkers to help out. It has been clutch after clutch after clutch. And here we go again though with the poking and the prodding. Nostrebor gonna be on that high ground right now, taking care of the Overseer. And with the Overseer now going on down, there we go though with the Baneling smashing into the third base. And this is gonna be a lot of pain and pleasure for beTONG, as well as Nostrebor losing a good number of amounts of units there. But it's still not gonna be enough to shut down the Hydras. beTONG sure taking care of a third base, but look at that army count, 30 to 69. Nostrebor in a really good spot so far. Lurkers though gonna be going on to the outskirts, and here we go again off the burrow onto the ground. It's time to go for the push here and now for beTONG. Lynx though looking to come on over yet again, and here it comes Nostrebor though coming closer and closer to go for the attack. It's all about that burrow though. And Nostrebor, you just gotta make sure that you are ready to go for a fight like this. Seems like a little bit of a creeping barrage right now for our blue Zerg. Even though he's not on that Saren, he's making zones of safety. He's using these Hydras and using these Lurkers to protect one another. For Nostrebor right now, this is more and more Lurkers coming into tow. Oh my god, this hatchery is just gonna die to the spines. And it really feels like if this was beTONG's game to win, right? He had 5 bases. He has 5 bases. He has such a good lead. He's not really doing anything with it. He has so much gas for some reason. It's still not panning out to anything as well. And it feels like there, even though he's going for a huge number of Banelings, it's still not going to be enough. There's nothing to deal with the Lurkers. He's just going for Banelings after Banelings for mindlessly. And there we go again with the Suicide Bombers trying to roll on in, but they just cannot get close to the Lurkers whatsoever. What a struggle right now for beTONG. And I like that he's going for that Adrenal Glands, and he just needs to get a little closer, but nothing is dealing with the Lurkers, and detection is needed. There we go though with the Slam on down, but there's so many Banelings already used up for one Lurker, and that is that. That's the army going on down, and inefficient use here from beTONG yet again. His macro on point, but these decisions on these fights just hurting him in the end. And that should be it with this push. That should be it with this attack. And that should be it with this game. Because 81 army to 22 is way too overwhelming to handle. Nostrebor now cleaning up house here onto the third. Has so many of these Overseer as well, looking on around. But beTONG, the lesson learned here has to be some better micro overall, because it really feels like this was beTONG's macro game to win. He was ahead the whole time. GG gonna get called, and that is that. Nostrebor with the W, and that is our game. But, you know, back to my point, this was beTONG's game to win on macro. He went for a successful pull first. He just lost out on the Banelings, and then he had those Roaches against Hydras, which could have been a lot better for him if he just positioned them right. And then he goes for a flood of Banelings right, and he just slams it down onto the third base, slams it down to an egg of all things, when he could have caught out the army. So many missed opportunities, and Nostrebor, I like the Moxie, and I love the clutch. But, you gotta respect the matchup, right? You gotta respect. It's a ZVZ. You gotta mirror. You gotta make sure you have an answer. You don't go blindly into Hydras, but this time it worked. This time it was successful there for Nostrebor, and he will take the dub. But that one Baneling to rule them all, one Baneling to bind them, it really goes to show, guys, this is a game that just specifies, that just encompasses, and that just basically represents quality over quantity. We got Nostrebor with one big Baneling hit. That was enough to keep him in the game. beTONG in the meantime going for so many Banelings, but they could not do anything. And that is that. Thank you guys for tuning on in. I'll see you guys in the next one.